Today's topic for discussion is life cycle of Funaria. Funaria, it is a bryophytic plant. Let us see all the details of Funaria. Let us see the occurrence of Funaria. Funaria is very common plant in rainy season. It is a terrestrial plant. That means that can grow on moist soil or on moist walls, moist places. And everywhere in rainy season it is very common plant. And it is a most common in tropical and temperate regions of the world. They are common on moist rocks, damp walls and burnt, humid ground which is rich in plant ash. The life history of Funaria shows well-defined alternation of generation. The two generations, that is gametophytic generation and sporophytic generation, they alter with each other. The gametophyte, which is independent and well developed, and the sporophyte, which is not well developed and it is a semi-parasite on gametophyte. Let us see the external features of Funaria gametophyte. Gametophyte of Funaria, it is well developed plant. Gametophyte of Funaria that consists of two stages. Number 1, juvenile stage, and number 2, adult stage. The juvenile stage means young stage is also known as protonema, and the adult stage, it is also known as gametophore or gametophyte. The gametophore or gametophyte differentiated into axis, that is the stem, green leaf-like expansions which are generally we call it as leaves, but these are also called as phylloids, and number 3, rhizoids. For the external resemblance and convenience, they are referred to as stem and leaves respectively. This is the leafy structure or phylloid of the Funaria shown in the photograph. And the stem of Funaria, it is described as cauloid or stem. And the stem and leaves are characteristic features of diploid generation. Next slide. This is the Funaria rhizoids shown in the photograph. The rhizoids arise from the basal region of the axis. They are cylinder, branched and multicellular in length, but one cell in thickness. Rhizoids are one cell in thickness. The cells are placed end to end with the oblique partition walls as shown in the slide. The functions of rhizoidal system are absorption of water and absorption of mineral, and the rhizoids also helps the fixation of the plant to the substratum. And let us see the stem of the Funaria. It is also called as cauloid. The axis is erect. The stem axis is erect and that is erect and sparingly branched. The branches are never axillary but are extra-axillary or lateral. On the cauloids are present a number of green appendages which we call it as leaves. Next slide. This is the protonema of Funaria. That is, let us see all the details of protonema or vegetative reproduction by formation of protonema in Funaria. Funaria reproduces vegetatively by different methods. Some methods described here. That is number 1, multiplication of protonema. Photograph is shown here. The primary protonema breaks into small segments because of the death and decay of intermediate cells. The separated segments divide and forms new protonema. The buds on secondary protonema develop into new gametophore. Next slide. This photograph, it is shown for secondary protonema. The secondary protonema are also called as tubers. Any cell of the injured portion of leaf, stem or rhizoid that develop into filamentous structure when the environmental conditions are favorable. These are called secondary protonema. The buds on protonema develop into a new gametophytic plant or new gametophore. And another type of vegetative reproduction in Funaria takes place by formation of bulbils. The resting buds develop on the rhizoids which are called as bulbils. At the return of favorable season, in presence of favorable environmental conditions, the bulbils germinate to form a protonema. From the buds develop a new gametophore. According to recent terminology, resting buds developed on rhizoids are called tubers. Tubers are shown in the photograph. Okay. Another type of vegetative reproduction which occurs in Funaria, that is by formation of gymme. When the plant is exposed to unfavorable environmental conditions, the terminal cells of leaves, stem or even the rhizoid that form small gymme, the gymme later on develop into a gametophore or a new plant. They germinate into a new plant of Funaria in favorable environmental conditions. Another type of vegetative reproduction which occurs in Funaria, that is for apospory. In this case, formation of gametophore directly forms the vegetative cell of sporophyte without undergoing reductional division, and spore formation is called apospory. The cell divides and forms protonema from which develops a new plant of Funaria or gametophore. Thus, the gametophores are diploid. The gametophore of Funaria is diploid. Next slide. This is the anatomy of stem of the Funaria or colloid, transverse section of stem or transverse section of colloid of Funaria. Let us see all the details of internal structure. The transverse section of colloid or stem shows a simple internal structure. The cells are arranged in three distinct zones, that is number 1 epidermis, number 2 cortex and the number 3 conducting tissue. Let us see the details of epidermis of the stem. It is the outermost covering which is made up of one layer of cells. Cells are compactly arranged. The cells are thick-walled and the chloroplast is present in the epidermis of the stem. But the epidermal cells of young plant are thin-walled and they possess lots of chloroplast and its function is protection. Let us see the second layer. Photograph is given here. Transverse section of colloid or transverse section of stem of Funaria. Let us see details of cortex, second region of the stem. Cortex is placed below the epidermis and it is placed above the conducting tissue and below the epidermis. That means it is present between the epidermis and central conducting region. The cortex consists of thin-walled cells and it is made up of parenchymatous cells. The cells are parenchymatous in nature. They are compactly arranged. No intercellular spaces are there. In mature stem, outer few layers becomes thick-walled that forms a hypodermis. Okay. Let us see the central region of the stem, that is the conducting region, conducting tissue. It consists of compactly arranged thin-walled cells without protonema. The cells are narrow and vertically elongated. These cells are now called hydroids. Okay, hydroids is the name given to these cells, and the central region gives mechanical support and also helps in conduction of water to the stem. This is all about the internal structure of the Funaria stem or Funaria colloid. Let us see the details of anatomy of Funaria leaf or phylloid or transverse section of Funaria, phylloid or Funaria leaf. The leaves are sessile. There is no stalk-like structure to the leaf. Hence, such leaves are described as sessile. There is no petiole. And the shape of the leaf, it may be oval or oblong. And they are having entire margin. Margin of the leaf is entire, in continuation. Okay. They are spirally arranged. Leaves are spirally arranged on the stem. The leaf has distinct midrib at the center and it is attached to the stem by broad base. Okay. And let us see the details of internal structure. It is formed by thin walled parenchymatous cell containing chloroplast. The leaf is one cell in thickness except at the midrib region. Marginal cells are smaller and thick walled as shown in the photograph that gives mechanical support to the leaf. As the leaf is one cell in thickness, no aeration is required. Hence, stomata are absent. Stomata are absent in the leaf of Funaria. In the midrib region below the epidermis, there are a few thin walled cells followed by thick walled cells which are called hydroid. The central region or midrib is multicellular. Next slide. Let us see the vertical section of anthradial head of Funaria. Let us see all about the reproduction in Funaria. Reproduction in Funaria. Funaria reproduces sexually as well as vegetatively. Sexual reproduction means the reproduction which takes place in presence of gametes. That is called sexual reproduction. Let us see the sexual reproduction. And vegetative reproduction also takes place in Funaria. Vegetative reproduction is present in juvenile stage, that is protonema. Juvenile stage means young stage. The gametophore or the stem bear sex organs at their tip. The gamete producing plant or gametophyte that produces sex organs or male and female gametes at the tip of the plant, and the male sex organs are called antheridia and the female sex organ called archegonia. As both the sex organs are formed on the same plant, if they are formed on the same plant, Funaria is monoecious. The sex organ develop on different plants, hence Funaria is dioecious, autoecious. The antheridia develop first and archegonia later, thus avoiding self-fertilization. This condition is known as protandrous condition. Let us see the anthradial head, antheridia producing structure, anthradial head in Funaria. This is photograph is given. This is the vertical section of anthradial head. The male sex organs which are called antheridia, which are generally found in clusters on the main axis, which is known as anthradial head. They are surrounded by leaves. The leaves are called perigonial leaves. The antheridia and perigonial leaves together form a perigonium, together known as perigonium. The antheridia get mixed with the sterile hair-like multicellular filament-like structures. These hair-like structures are known as paraphyses. The terminal cell of these paraphyses may not be subspherical. The main function of paraphyses is to retain moisture and prevent desiccation by secreting mucilage. In species of moss, let us see the further details. Let us see the details of antheridium. This is the photograph of antheridium and anthrazoid. Each antheridium, it is a male gamete of Funaria. Each antheridium that consists of a stalk-like structure and a body. The stalk is multicellular and attaches the antheridium to the main axis. The body is club-shaped and multicellular. The outermost sterile layer of antheridium is known as, that is made up of cells, which is known as jacket layer, or it is also known as anthradial wall. The chloroplast of young cell when mature that turn red or orange in color. Hence, the mature antheridia appear orange in color. The jacket layer encloses mass of small cells which are called androcytes or anthrazoid mother cells. At maturity, few cells at the apex become large and thick walled, forming operculum. This photograph is shown here. Antheridium is shown and dehiscence of antheridium is shown here. Let us see how the dehiscence takes place. Dehiscence means release of the anthrazoids takes place by breaking the uppermost region of the antheridium. Let us see, as dehiscence occurs only in the presence of water, which may be either provided by rain or dew. The opercular cells become mucilaginous, they become sticky, and the inner pressure ruptures the wall, creating a pore-like structure at the tip. The hydrostatic pressure created inside that facilitates the oozing of fluid through the pore having androcytes. Through that pore, all the androcytes comes out. These androcytes reaching the air-water interface and they get converted to anthrazoids. The anthrazoid, it is a male gamete, and the anthrazoid has a coiled body with two flagella at the anterior end, as shown in the photograph. Let us see the details of vertical section of archegonial head of Funaria. Archegonia, these are the female sex organs and these are formed in a cluster at the end of the lateral branch which develop near the base of the main axis. Archegonia are intermingled with paraphysis. The sterile leaves surrounding the archegonia are called perichaetial leaves. All three together, that is perichaetial leaves, archegonia and paraphysis, that forms a perichaetium. Let us see how is the archegonium or female gamete of Funaria. Each archegonium, it is flask-shaped structure. It is having a stalk, venter and a neck. The stalk is multicellular and massive. The broad region which is known as venter. The venter wall is 2 cells in thickness and encloses the cavity which is called venter cavity. Small venter canal cell and large egg cell are present in the venter cavity. The neck consists of 6 vertical rows of cells enclosing a cavity which is called neck canal, which is called as neck canal. And present in the neck canal there are 10 or more neck canal cells. The uppermost cells of the neck form a cover cell which is known as lid. At maturity, the neck canal cells and venter canal cells disintegrate to form a mucilaginous substance. The pressure created by it results in the separation of operculum or lid. The operculum, it is a lid which is removed. Let us see how is the fertilization. Fertilization means fusion of male, the phenomenon in which fusion of male and female gamete takes place. That is called fertilization. Let us see the fertilization in Funaria. Fertilization is only possible in presence of water or in presence of rain or dew. The anthrazoids which are liberated swim in water. The mucilage that oozes out from the neck contains chemical like cane sugar, and the anthrazoids are attracted by this chemical and move towards it. Such movement, which results due to the affinity of chemicals, is called chemostatic movement. Many anthrazoids enter the neck, but only one succeeds in uniting with the egg nucleus. And after fusion of the anthrazoids with the egg nucleus, a zygote is developed. Zygote, it is a diploid structure. More than one archegonia may be fertilized, but normally only one zygote develops in the into a sporophyte. Next slide. The photograph shown here, it is a sporophyte of Funaria. Sporophyte, spore producing plant of Funaria. It is a diploid plant. Asexual phase developed from the zygote. Sporophyte is also known as sporangium. The sporophyte is partly dependent on gametophore or gametophyte, and it is partial parasite or semi-parasite. For water, inorganic salts and minerals, it depends on the gametophyte. But it prepares the organic food material with the help of chlorenchymatous cells. The sporogonium is differentiated into, that is the sporophyte is differentiated into 3 regions, that is number 1 foot, number 2 seta, and number 3 capsule. Next slide. Let us see all the details. The foot, it is an embedded part of the sporogonium. It is small, dagger-like, and helps the sporophyte in attaching to the gametophyte. The function of foot is fixation and absorption. Number 2, seta. In photograph given to the right side, photograph is given. All the details of longitudinal section of capsule is given, which we are describing here. Seta, it is the long cylinder stalk-like structure which elevates the capsule or the sporangium above the gametophore. Conduction of mineral water and supporting the capsule are the 2 main functions of seta. Seta provide minerals and mechanical support to the capsule. Let us see the details of capsule. It is a highly organized pear-shaped structure which is generally occur at the tip of the seta. The capsule at its distal end bears a remnant of jacket of venter and neck, which is called calyptra. Externally and internally, capsule is differentiated into 3 regions. Number 1, apophysis, number 2, theca, and number 3, operculum. Let us see all the details of internal structure of capsule. Let us see number 1, apophysis. Apophysis consists of epidermis and spongy tissue. The epidermis is interrupted by small openings which are called stomata. Each stomata or stoma is guarded by 2 guard cells. Often in more mature stoma, septa between 2 guard cells dissolve, thus forming a single circular ring around the stomatal opening. At the center, there are often present elongated or colorless cells forming a conducting region. Rest of the cells of parenchymatous. All the rest of the cells are parenchymatous, containing chloroplast and are loosely arranged. Presence of stomata, intercellular spaces and chloroplast indicate that the photosynthetic nature of the apophysis. Hence the sporophyte of Funaria, it is a partial parasite. Okay. Next part of the capsule, it is theca. Theca is the middle region of the capsule. The capsule wall in this region is many-celled in thickness. The outer layer of the wall is epidermis, which continues with that of the apophysis region. Internal to the epidermis, there are few layers of compactly arranged cells forming hypodermis. Toward the inner side of the hypodermis, there are few layers of chlorenchymatous cells. Internal to this cylindrical air sac traversed by narrow, elongated chlorenchymatous stripes which are called trabeculae. Trabeculae unite the wall of the theca to the spore sac, which is towards the interior side. Towards its interior side. The spore sac surrounds the central sterile region which is known as columella. The inner wall of spore sac is 1 cell in thickness, while the outer wall is formed of 3 or 4 layers of cells in thickness between the walls of present between the wall one cell between the walls is present a cavity. That cavity contains large number of spores. The spores are formed from the spore mother cells, or spore mother cells are also known as sporocytes. The sporocytes are formed after reductional division, after meiosis. Hence, they are haploid in nature. Let us see the details of operculum or the lid dehiscing region. The terminal cap-like structure of capsule is called operculum. The operculum and theca are delimited by construction where 2 to 3 layers of cells are present forming annulus. That is called annulus, a ring-like structure which is known as annulus. Immediately toward the inner side there are peristomial teeth, and these teeth surround the mouth of the capsule. Below the annulus, 2 or 3 layers of radially elongated, thick-walled cells are present which form diaphragm, or it is also known as rim. Diaphragm or rim. It forms the upper end of theca. The peristome has 32 teeth arranged in 2 concentric rings of 16 each. A characteristic feature, 32 peristome teeth are present. Both the sets are on the same radii and hence opposite to each other. The apical end of teeth in the outer set converge towards each other. Often the outer ring of the Next, this is the Funaria stoma, and this is the life cycle of Funaria. This is diagrammatic representation of Funaria life cycle.